Hello, peace seekers. This is Saniqua White dropping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. And today I am going back to talking about generational curses or generational dysfunction, whichever you prefer to call it. They might be a little bit different. And the way I see it is there is a faith or a spiritual component to curses. So not everyone will track with that if you're not a person of faith. But what you do see, whether you believe it's a curse or just dysfunction, the dysfunction is the byproduct. It is what you will see a person doing that you will know, okay, their mother did it, their father did it, their whoever did it. You will see the behavior, which is a byproduct of whatever is going on at the root. So whatever you want to call it is fine, but just understand that the generational dysfunction is what we have to address, and what we want to get to is the root of the issue. But today, what I want to talk about is a specific dysfunction that goes on in my family and probably yours as well. Or if not yours, hopefully not, you may know someone who is dealing with this in their family, and that is a poverty mindset. Now, some people talk about a scarcity mindset, which is not really the same thing. So what I wanted, a scarcity mindset is more so like being worried about there being enough. Like, I don't want to do this dream of mine because the market is already saturated with that. So I just won't do it because there's already enough people doing that. That's more of a scarcity mindset where you feel like there's enough people doing it. And if I get into that field, there won't be enough for me. Poverty mindset is more so you're trapped in a situation in your mind, and it does manifest in your community and in your environment, but in your mind you feel like you're not going to ever get out of this situation. This is the best we have, and we're gonna spend this money like it's going out of style, because this is all we're gonna have. And you keep people, yourself and other people around you, trapped in this mindset, and nobody can get out. The way that it looks in my family is, I've talked about the gambling, but this is an example of what happens. So only a couple of people work, like literally work jobs in my immediate family that I'm talking about. Everyone else was raised and remained on the welfare system. And so their mindset is, we get this money once a month, we need to spend it all, and then we spend it all by about the 5th of the month when we get it on the 1st, and then for the rest of the month we have a sob story that we tell people so that they will either give us money, hopefully give it. If not, they'll let us borrow it. So my family is in this cycle of getting their money, spending it immediately, and I mean all of it, and then leaning and begging from the working people for money for the rest of the month until the 1st comes back around again. And every time you want to do something, you want to try to plan something, they have to wait until the 1st. But on the 1st, they go and draft all of the money out of the bank, and it is spent by the 5th of the month, and then they have to give you a sob story. And they use the children, because there are always children, they use the children basically as pawns, because they know no one wants to see a child go hungry, or no one wants to see a child go without in any type of way. So they do whatever they want to do with their money. They gamble, they drink, they smoke, they whatever they want to do with their money. And then on the 6th, they have none. So now they have to tell you the story. I had to pay so and so to take me to the store, and then I had to do this, and then this happened, and then that happened. Some of it may be true, some of it may not. I don't know. But there is always a story. And this might not be your everyday life or the life that you live around your family or your community or your friends all the time, but I can almost guarantee you know that one person who this is their family life, because whether you know this or not, this is common. This mindset is very common. So again, I'm talking about generational dysfunction, generational curses, breaking cycles. And this is the poverty mindset that I'm talking about. And what I'm speaking on specifically is what it looks like in my family and probably in others that you know, is that the mindset is that every penny they have is spent. They may or may not realize where it went. Sure, they get groceries, but typically they get food stamps, so they're not necessarily spending actual money on food. So they get money, they spend it on whatever they spend it on, but then the water is going to get cut off, or the phone is going to get cut off, or something is going to happen. They have no food because maybe they gave away the food stamps or sold them or whatever they did with them. But sometimes they're not actually telling the truth. Sometimes they actually do have resources. They just want to see if they can get more from you. Now, I'm talking about my family. This may not be yours, but if you've ever been suspicious, now suspicious doesn't mean it's the truth, but a suspicion means there's something going on if you're suspicious about it. So just look into it. But in breaking this poverty mindset, again, you have to be the one to first call it out. Then you have to also be intentional about how to get help. If you need to join a financial informational team, something, go into the bank and sit down with a banker and discuss your finances. Do something like that. Whatever you need to do to figure out how not to continue to live this life, do it. And then the third thing, which is usually the toughest thing, is to bear the brunt, because likely your family or whoever this is that's in the poverty mindset is not going to want to break out of it because they're used to it. It's comfortable. And hey, this is just what we do. But if I challenge you to be the person who breaks this cycle of the poverty mindset. And it's going to be tough if you grew up this way because you were raised that this is just the way of life. Even if you've seen other people who don't live this way, your mind has been trained that this is the way our family lives and this is just the way life is. But I'm here to tell you that it isn't, because I have a whole family that has a poverty mindset and I don't. Because first of all, I wasn't raised around them. My mom moved away, thank God, because I would have probably maybe been the same way. And then I may not have been the person who could help someone get out. Now, my family doesn't really listen to me. Even though that they know that I don't live the life that they live, they think that my life was just so much better and so much different because we moved away. On one hand, they are correct. But on the other hand, it's the mindset that they could change if they wanted to. So I challenge you, because you're the one watching this video, that you're going to be the cycle breaker. I'll be back again with another specific type of generational curse or dysfunction, whichever one you want to call it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. I'll be back soon, but until then, be proactive about your mental health. Be well, and God bless.